Yo, what's the word, boys? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the perfect UFC champion for each video. Yo, what's the word, boys? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the perfect UFC champion for each division based on duckability. And what I mean by duckability is, are you ducking other fighters at the top of your division? The champion in this video for every division is the fighter who is ducking the most. And we have a scale. It's called the Duckability scale. If you're, closing it at 1 through 4, if that's where you kind of are on the scale, there's been rumors of ducking. Maybe you've ducked somebody in the past, but there's no clear evidence of it. And it's mostly rumors from MMA fans. You're not a duck. If you're coming in at the green, you're not a duck, but maybe there's been some weird rumors. If you're 5 through 7, maybe there's some clear ducking. We have some evidence of ducking. Maybe you've ducked a guy in the past, but for the most part, you are, I guess, fighting other top guys in the division. But shit hits the fan when you get through 8 through 10. Openly ducking another opponent. You guys are going to know who's going to be the heavyweight champion in this video. Maybe even the welterweight champion. If you're 8 through 10 on the duckability scale, you are clearly and obviously and openly ducking other guys, other up-and-coming contenders in your division. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's start off in the flyweight division. Like, subscribe, do all that. I'm going to be posting a video every single day in December. Yes, every single day. Click the subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers. Let's do it. The flyweight division, this is a little bit weird, though, because the flyweight division, when you really dive into it, they got dogs. It's dogs in the flyweight division. BMF after BMF. Alessandro Pantoja, this dude's fighting everybody. Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, Kai Car-France. All these guys want the smoke. So when I'm thinking about the biggest duck in the division, I couldn't really think of anybody. I had to go with Manel Kape, but he's only clocking in at 2 out of 10 on the duckability scale. The only reason why he's the champion of duckability in the flyweight division is because he talked so much shit in his last fight. So much shit with you-know-who. He's not in the UFC anymore. And then he goes out there and puts on a crappy performance. He talked so much shit, and then it was a boring fight. He didn't want to engage. And then after the fight, he's trying to fight, even though you just had 15 minutes to fight. If that makes sense. But in the end of the day, there's nobody really ducking in the flyweight division. It's a bunch of dogs. I had to put Manel Kape. I had to choose somebody. I had to choose... Ew, that's nasty. I had to choose somebody. But let's be real. Manel Kape's not really ducking anybody. He kind of just had a shit fight where he hyped it up a lot and then didn't really want to fight when it was time to actually fight. If that makes sense. I had to choose somebody. I'm going to go with Manel Kape. But it's going to get a little bit more obvious when we move on to the Bantamweight division. And we have Merab Dvalishvili. He's going to clock in at 6 out of 10 on the duckability scale. And real quick, I have the utmost respect for every single fighter that I'm talking about in this video. It's simply just a cool YouTube video that we could talk about. Utmost respect for every single one of these guys. But Merab is coming in pretty high. 6 out of 10 is decent on the scale. And it's because he is clearly and openly ducking a fight with Umar Nurmagomedov. Even on Twitter and these videos he's making, he's doing everything to not fight Umar. He's trying to get a Petr Yan rematch when Umar is the clear number 1 contender in the division. We're saying, oh, he only beat one top 15 contender. He dominated in 50-45 Corey Sandhagen. Umar Nurmagomedov deserves to fight for the title, and Merab Dvalishvili is doing everything to not get that fight because he knows Umar is a tough stylistic matchup for him. His anti-grappling and grappling, holy shit, is very, very good. He has dangerous kicks and knees up the middle that could stop the pressure of Merab Dvalishvili. So Merab doesn't really want that smoke. He posted a video saying, oh, I'm very impressed with Petr Yan's performance. I want to rematch him. Obviously, he wants to rematch Petr Yan. It's an easy fight. You already dominated him. And then we have guys like Aljamain Sterling, his teammate, preaching on podcasts that Umar doesn't deserve it and how Petr Yan deserves the rematch. Merab is quite obviously ducking Umar Nurmagomedov, but at the same time, The reason he's not higher on this scale is because at the end of the day, I still think he's going to fight Umar. I don't think he's going to be like a Jon Jones. I don't think it'll be a Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall situation. I think Merab will end up fighting pretty much everybody in the division. So he's not going to be super high on the list, but he is openly ducking the #1 contender in his division. That's why he has to be a 6 out of 10 on the duckability scale. But let's move to the featherweight division. We just talked about him, and it's Aljamain Sterling. He's only coming in at a 3.5 out of 10 because he's not really ducking anybody in the featherweight division. He's taking a tough test against Movsar Evloev. He hasn't really ducked anybody in the past, but the reason I chose him instead of anybody else in the featherweight division is because those guys are fighting everybody, and they're not really complaining, and I'll get onto that. Alexander Volkanovski, he'll fight anybody. Topuria, if you think he was scared of Max Holloway, you were out of your damn mind. Holloway not scared of anybody. Movsar, Diego Lopez will fight anybody, anywhere. Dan Ige, there's nobody really ducking in the featherweight division. And when I was making this video, it really showed to me that there's not that many ducks in the UFC. There are some big ducks, but there's not many ducks. It's an extinct, or it's going to be an extinct species soon, the duck. But the reason I chose Aljamain Sterling is, one, because he is openly preaching. This is not really the biggest reason, but he's openly preaching how Umar doesn't deserve it and how Merab should fight Petr Yan. He is pretty much ducking for Merab, if that makes sense. But the biggest reason I put him as the featherweight champion is because he did complain a lot about that Sean O'Malley fight, and he continues to complain. But he's only a 3.5. Aljo has said in the past, and I agree with him, I agree that the UFC kind of fucked him over. They gave Sean O'Malley the title shot on pretty short notice, a complete stylistic change from the Henry Cejudo fight. I get that. But the fact that he's still talking about it a year later is why he has to be the featherweight champion. But that's also the reason why he's not going to be high on this list, because this dude still fights everybody. He still took the Sean O'Malley fight. So I respect Aljamain Sterling a lot for that. So he's only going to come in at a 3.5 out of 10. But let's move on to the lightweight division. I have Michael Chandler. The reason I have Michael Chandler is because Islam not ducking anybody. Charles, no. Arman, no. You could throw Justin Gaethje into that conversation. You could throw Dustin Poirier into this type of conversation. But those guys fought the Benoit Saint Denis, They've fought the Rafael Fizibs. They've fought the up-and-comers, the dangerous up-and-comers. Michael Chandler, he's only a 3 out of 10. He's not really ducking anybody, but he has somehow found himself in situations where he's fighting the best of the best. Like that Charles Oliveira fight should have not happened. The dude is 2-4 in the UFC, and he's going to get a massive fight in his next fight somehow. So he's not necessarily ducking young up-and-comers in the lightweight division, but he's somehow finding himself into these massive fights when his UFC record isn't very good. So he's only going to come in at a 3 out of 10, but there's nobody really else in the lightweight division. Even guys like Paddy Pimblett, he wants to fight some of the baddest guys in the division. Renato Moicano wants to fight the baddest guys. Benoit Saint Denis, and then, the top of the division, Islam Arman, they want to fight everybody. I have to put Michael Chandler here because he somehow just finds his way into big fights, and he doesn't fight up-and-comers. I don't know how he gets away with it, but he doesn't fight up-and-comers, so that's why he's my lightweight champion. Next up, shit's going to start hitting the fan. Colby Covington is our welterweight champion. Isn't that funny? On the duckability rank, he is a 6.7 out of 10. Now, originally, I had him as an 8.5. Obviously, because he's openly ducked Ian Gary. He's openly ducked young up-and-comers in his division. He has gotten title shots off of wins against Jorge Masvidal. It makes no sense. This guy does have Dana White privilege. We all know that. But the reason I dropped him from an 8.5 is because this Joaquin Buckley fight is massive. I give a lot of respect to Colby Covington for taking this fight. One, it's on short notice. And if I had to create a fighter in a lab to beat Colby Covington, it is Joaquin Buckley. Powerful, dangerous in the pocket, fast, insane gas tank, ability to scramble and hold off, takedowns and pressure is elite. Joaquin Buckley is the prototype to beat Colby Covington, and that's my biggest lock for the rest of 2024. I'm going to make a video on that. So Colby Covington is taking this fight against a tough stylistic matchup on short notice. So I have to give him a lot of respect in that aspect. But he is still a 6.7 due to ducking in the past. He's openly ducked Ian Gary, and he's openly ducked up-and-comers like Shavkat Rakhmonov, and in my opinion, I think Khamzat Chimaev as well. So Colby's in kind of a middle ground area where he's redeemed himself, but he still has that bad past. So he's going to be a 6.7 out of 10 on the Duckability rank, and our welterweight champion in the ducking world, I guess you could say. Funny how that turned out. Let's move on to the middleweight champion, Sean Strickland. He gets back his belt, and on the Duckability rank, he's a 7 out of 10 because he openly ducked Robert Whittaker. He said in the past, I'm not fighting Robert Whittaker. In interviews, he said, I am not fighting Robert Whittaker. I have deserved a title shot. I have earned my title shot. And that's the end of it. It's pretty simple. The dude is ducking one of the top contenders in the division because he's believing he earned a title shot. That's not the case. I think Khamzat Chimaev deserves it more. I think Khamzat will get the title shot. But Sean Strickland has said, oh, F the belt, who really cares about the belt? But then when the UFC want to make a Robert Whittaker #1 contenders fight, you openly duck that fight. You openly say you don't want that fight. You're not going to accept that fight because you already earned a title shot. That is very, very clear ducking, and that's why Sean Strickland is our middleweight champion. Other middleweights, Dricus du Plessis, the dude's calling for a Khamzat Chimaev fight. He's an absolute dog. Izzy is fighting up-and-comers. Jared Cannonier, Kyle Baralho. It's pretty easily Sean Strickland. The dude openly ducked a #1 contenders fight. It's that simple. Let's move on to the light heavyweight champion. Hold your horses, fellas. Hold your horses. Don't get mad at me. Do not get mad at me. I had to put Alex Pereira. He's only a 2 out of 10 on the scale. We got to relax. The light heavyweight division is kind of weird. We don't hear really anything about Jan Blachowicz ducking fights, Yuri Prohaska, Jamal Hill, Alexander Rakic. The only type of rumor of ducking we've heard in the light heavyweight division is Alex Pereira ducking Magomed Ankalaev. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely think Pereira versus Ankalaev is going to happen, but you can't really say that, or how do I want to phrase this? I don't even fucking know. But Alex Pereira has shown in some tweets and in the media that does he really want to fight the Magomed Ankalaev? Does he really want to fight Ankalaev? I'm not too sure. But at the end of the day, I still think he's going to. I still think he's maybe going to knock out Magomed Ankalaev. But I had to put somebody as the light heavyweight champion. And if you go back to the criteria for the Duckability ranking, 1 through 4 out of 10 is kind of just rumors. I think this fight's going to happen. Pereira Ankalaev should happen very soon. I think this dude is fine fighting literally anybody. But here's the climax of the video. The heavyweight champion, oh boy, that's a bright red. That is a bright red. We have Jon Jones. Duckability rank 9.7 out of 10. It's pretty clear. The dude is ducking Tom Aspinall. I really don't need to get into it. The dude does not want to fight Tom Aspinall. Losing my voice. I think he knows he does not beat Tom Aspinall. He doesn't need to risk his legacy, as he would say. And I think Tom Aspinall would beat Jon Jones inside 2 rounds. So Jones is kind of smart for not taking the Tom Aspinall fight. But he is doing absolutely everything he can to not fight Tom Aspinall and the interim champ. He is openly ducking the interim champion in his division. He fought a 42-year-old Stipe Miocic who, with all due respect, looked very bad in their fight. It is clear, it is obvious to everybody that Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. But the reason I gave him 0.3 of credit is because he did kind of say if the UFC throw fuck you money at him, he might fight Tom Aspinall. But If he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall and he retires, that is a 10 fucking out of 10. But for now, there is still some hope that we get Jones versus Aspinall. A 10 out of 10 on the Duckability rank is for no money. You will not fight this guy. You do not want any part of him. There is a chance we still get Jones versus Aspinall, so I give Jones that 0.3. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did I miss any fighters? Are there bigger ducks in the division than some other guys? Let me know in the comments. I will be posting a video every single day in December. 30, or what is it, 31 videos. Let's do it. Subscribe. Let's push for 10,000 subscribers. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Peace out.